Let's make the best effort for this winter for our winter hair care as we are coming into the winter months because we usually have snow, pretty decent amount of snow by the 31st of October. So it's getting pretty cold, and I want to make sure that you guys are prepared and you have the things that you need going through this winter season that's coming up. So, now during the winter, the idea is to keep in mind that the air is harsher on our hair during the winter time. So that's the easiest way to put it. And the way that we want to do what we want to do is make sure that we can take care of it and protect it as much as possible. This is the time where typically people go into protective styles or people wear a silk press. Now, depending on what person you are you trying to work on your curly hair or are you trying to actually keep your hair straight? This would be where you kind of make that decision. What I'll be talking in this video is people that are actually trying to keep their curly hair taken care of. Straight hair during this time has a little less work and things to worry about. So, curly hair during this time, because our hair curls, it's going to get colder in that curl. So, you want to be more gentle during that time. So, things that you will want to do as far as like your outside hairdos, hairstyles, you want to make sure you are covering those ends. Cover the ends as much as possible. Now, typically, because we are hydrating as well during this time, because it's going to be drier, you will want to pick styles that leave your strands accessible, but that you could actually keep the ends covered. Most protective styles that people are wearing, as far as like the box braids and different things like that, you won't be able to really do that. Same as soft locks, crochets, you won't really be able to do that. But you can do it in styles like two strand twists, flat twists, things like that. You can get those styles done where you can actually bun your tips to keep them secure and taken care of. So that's really good for this type of season as far as styling. As far as products, you want to make sure that you guys are choosing something a little more than what you would typically do during the winter time. During the summertime. So you want to make sure that you are misting, hydrating, you are drinking enough water. We talked about the water. And then as far as the hydrating on the outside, make sure you guys have yourselves a hydrating mist to keep it hydrated. Then as far as your when you're styling your hair, putting in your oils, your creams, lotions, things like that. If you were typically a lotion person during the summer, you may end up being a cream person during the winter. So you kind of want to play with it and see how it goes. Go for something just a little bit heavier, not all the way at the other end of the spectrum where you're going into really super thick butters and things like that. But a lotion may be better. Not a lotion, a cream may be better for you in this season as well. People that are cream, you may need to look into the butters and things like that. Now, when I say butters, I am talking about emulsified butters, butters that are actually made through the manufacturers, things like that. So that way you actually have a better formulation than you just grabbing some shea butter, because that's technically like an oil if you are thinking about it in this way. It's like you're putting on two oils at this point, because if you put some oil on your strands, say for instance you did a hair growth oil and you put it on your scalp and then you put it on your strands, that's typically what a lot of people have been doing instead of doing there's two separate oils. So if you're doing that one oil, then if you go through and get you some shea butter that you've whipped up yourself, you're putting on another oil. So that may be why your hair is super oily. You want to take it back a notch. Go for an actual cream type consistency. Most of the ones that's in the stores that are the thicker ones, it will say like a buttercream and things like that. If you guys want a list of different products and stuff that I really like, I do have the product list down there. That way you guys can get that too. So pick out the different ones for a heavier type coating during the winter time. Not super heavy, but just the next step up. That's pretty much all you need. If you were a lotion person, you shouldn't really be using buttercreams and things like that, because it's going to weigh your hair down and it's going to have a lot of product buildup. You're going to have too much on your hair. You really don't need that much. As well as portion sizes. So if you were a person that was using about a dime size, go up to a nickel size. And literally, it's You don't need that much product. There's a lot of people that put a whole lot of product on their hair and then they're not cleansing properly for the amount of product that they put on. So keep that in mind. So now that we're done with our products, we want to talk about how to actually keep the hair protected when we're outside. So, when we are outside, a lot of people they will wear bonnets and things like that. Please don't wear a bonnet. Get you a head scarf, a head wrap. There's a lot of different very pretty head wraps and things like that out. Get you one of those, tie them really nice if you want to do something like that. If you want to do where you are using scrunchies or it's like uh, it kind of reminds me of like a stocking cap type thing, but a lot of people do that as well during the winter, and it really does help. It's like you're putting a stocking cap over the bun and things like that to kind of keep it more secure, and it's not brushing against like wool scarves and things like that when you're wearing those. So, or you can do a satin lined cap. So different caps and things that will have a satin lining, you can do that. They also have them now where you can order them on Amazon and you can get a winter hat that has a satin lining. So get stuff that is going to help you, or just buy a separate cap that's a satin cap that you can put on before you put on your hat. So that way you're not getting your hair super rough under the style. And it keeps your style looking under the hat. And it keeps your style looking really, really nice. So I typically really like to do that if I have laid my edges, because you know I got locks and stuff. So I really don't be having to keep all my curls and stuff like I used to, because I used to wear the sideshow bob hairstyle. I loved my high puff with my sideshow bob curls that would come out when I would wear my puff. Now that was cute. It's just during the summer it was great. During the winter time, it's better to cover that top part. Like if you wear puffs and things like that, cover the puff when you're outside. You can take it off when you go inside of a building. So pretty much those are the big changes that you really want to make during this time frame. Also, deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is very, very big during the winter season. I typically try to tell people make sure that you are deep conditioning at least once a month. But if you are going to be going into this winter season and you notice that once a month is good for you during the summertime, you may need to do 2 times a month during the winter. So you want to pay attention to how you can kind of level that out. Are you going to hydrate more with a hydrating spray during the winter time, or are you going to go a little bit better with your conditioning and things like that during the winter time? See which one works best for you. I don't typically like to get my head wet as often during the winter time, so I would rather do a hydrating mist versus doing a full wash over and over. So figure out which one works better, so that way you can pick what works for you where you are located, because here, the Chicago area type stuff, it gets really, really, really cold, really, really, really cold. And it's not that type of thing that you want to be walking out with your head wet. And as well, if you're going to be misting, I typically do my misting in the mornings, but during the winter time, I do my mistings at night because I'm not going straight outside with my head looking crazy. And when I tie my scarf and things down in the morning, it's laid how it need to. I don't really need to do anything else. So fix that for your winter season. You should have different regimens for when it's warmer and when it's colder. So I hope that helped you guys. If you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you don't have the action plan, go ahead and get that, because it goes step by step to help you plan your next goals and things for your hair going forward into 2025. So I will see you guys tomorrow.